Hello, potential Volz Method Piano Lessons teacher. That was a mouthful, but the name of the company is Volz Method Piano Lessons. So the reason for that is because Volz is my last name. I'm Michael Volz, and I'm the creator of the Volz Method. So these are Volz Method Piano Lessons. Um, Welcome to this video. I'm hoping that this video will help answer a lot of questions about the position. These are the most often answered asked questions about the position, and it'll tell you a lot about it so that you can see and make sure that this is right for you. So first of all, you are given students in an agreed upon area between us. Any students beyond that agreed upon area you are not required to take, but I may offer additional compensation for students outside that limit. And it would be appreciated if you take them as long as the compensation is fair between us. If you are taking on the students of another teacher, replacing a current teacher that I have, then I'm happy to pay you at the rate of $10 per hour for the extra time taken to set up all your new students and coordinate schedules. It usually takes 2 to 3 hours, so on your honor, please tell me how long it took. I do this because, if you think about it, in this position, you're only getting paid for, actually teaching, and sometimes the whole setup can be quite cumbersome, and I just want to treat my teachers well, so that's important to me. For teachers that will be given new students, you will be given students usually at a rate between 1 to 5 new students per week. So you must be able to not work a lot to begin with, but I tend to be able to fill people up anywhere between 1 to 4 months, but usually only takes 1, maybe 2 months to fill somebody up, to be honest. My track record is usually 1 to 2 months. It depends on your area, but also very much the time of year. Most people like it this way, though, because it allows them to slowly ease into teaching and not getting too overwhelmed by too many students at once. So that's really helpful. This job very likely cannot be full-time either, right? 95% of the students are between the hours of like 2 to 8 p.m. So it is not possible to be full-time really. However, you do make a lot per hour while teaching, so it pays a lot more than any other normal job without a degree. All right, and the travel pay is worked into the per hour pay, okay? So my hope is to keep it as close to your hourly pay as possible with as an efficient route as possible. For instance, if you are being paid like $30 an hour while teaching, and you have 5 total hours of teaching on a particular day, and you have 1 hour total of driving, if you do the math, then you'd be making actually $25 per hour even while you're driving for that hour. Not bad, you're getting paid $25 an hour just to drive. So this is my hope, to get that as close as possible. The pay increase schedule is as follows. At 3 months, you get your first increase, and every month thereafter you get another increase until the end of the year, where you have your max pay. So right now, for instance, if you start at like $30 per hour, you're actually going to get a 40-cent increase at 3 months, and then every month it'll increase until you get to $35 an hour by the end of the year. Now, your pay goes up over time. However, it's all dependent upon the location of your students, how much you're going to get paid to start, right? How much we pay you is completely dependent on how much we charge the student, okay? And that is always dependent, almost always, on which city the student is. So we pay you, pretty much we pay you how much we charge the student. That's how it's done. For instance, if you have a student in Provo City, then you will be getting a lower amount because we can't charge as much in Provo, right? But if we give you a student in Alpine, we charge more in Alpine, so I can pay my teachers more. And wherever your starting pay is will determine the ending pay. So if you start out at $30 an hour, well, then you're going to end up at 35. But if you start off at $25 an hour, you're going to end up at 30 for that particular student, if that makes sense. There is actually 3 different tiers right now pays for the teachers, as well as what we charge the students. So it just depends on what we charge the students, how much you're going to get paid. So I used to pay teachers a straight per hour, no matter which city they go to. But in order to maximize how much I can pay you, I decided to pay you like for each individual student how much we charge the student. I used to just pay the teachers the lowest amount that I need to in order to make sure that I didn't lose a profit, right, off of any of the students. But then I figured, you know what, I think I can do it this way and just pay you per student. That way you can get the most out of however much we're charging the students, and that's really helped the teachers a lot. Let's see here. All right, you'll get. I might also up your starting pay to begin with, if say your area you'll be teaching in requires a lot of travel to get to. Sometimes I do that. Or maybe perhaps because your area is way bigger than normally that I give the teachers. Right now, the normal area I give is usually around 7-mile radiuses. You know, if you have a way bigger area, perhaps I might up the starting pay. It's just important to me to treat my teachers well. If I hire you, you are worth your weight in gold to me, and so I want to make sure that you are treated well. And so, all right. As I give you students, I strive to optimize your route. For instance, if you live in a particular city, Mondays may be your particular city teaching day. Tuesdays may be your teaching day for the city directly to your north, and Wednesdays might be your teaching day for the city to your south. Striving to put students close together geographically will aid in making sure you make the most money per hour worked and make sure we respect your time as much as possible. Something to keep in mind, you have complete control over your schedule. So I hope you optimize it to the best of your ability. You can call the parents. If I put a student in the wrong time and day, because that's what when I sign them up, I put them on your schedule, but sometimes I make the wrong decision. I totally expect you to call the parent and change the day and time so that your route is as efficient as possible. So that's really useful. All right, and so the Volz method is a teaching method that is revolutionary and has seen amazing results. We have a 4.9 rating on Google. We are changing lives. I have people calling me all the time just asking for our method because they really want their son or daughter to learn according to what's best for them. I won't get too much into it here, but it will be explained to you if we have a phone conversation. I will talk more about the Volz method. And if you're hired, then you'll be trained in the Volz method. You'll be instructed through video tutorials, through emails, and you'll be trained. You'll also be trained in any way you need, like if you need help piano teaching. So if you're new to piano teaching, use me as a resource. So you get a piano teaching mentor when you get hired here. Right now, that's me, and I'm happy to help you in any way you need. So I have 15 years piano teaching experience. So you will, in order to learn the piano, learn the Volz method, you will be required to practice around an hour a day for the purpose of learning it. For about 2 to 3 months, just depends on your skill level, okay? The total training takes about 2 to 3 months, an hour a day. Now, anywhere between 2 weeks to 1 month into training, just depending on what's best for you and what's best for us, you will start receiving students. So, excuse me, so even though you're still training in the Volz method for a total of 2 to 3 months, as early as 2 weeks into your training, we can start giving you students, or give you all the students if you're getting students from a previous teacher. And that's just because we need to get your feet wet. We need to get you to learn just a little bit of the Volz method, get your feet wet, so that way you can at least present yourself well at the first lesson with the students. So yeah, you don't have to complete your training in order to start getting students. All right. Okay, let me see here. You will be required to only teach piano lessons under this company's banner, okay? So you won't be allowed to take any compensation or take any other students. You won't be able to find other piano students and teach them yourself. Um, and you won't be able to take money from, the students that you currently have with us for any other reason. For any other reason. For instance, if you teach violin, for instance, um, then they actually need to sign up with violin lessons through us. If you already have your own piano students, before you get hired with us, then that is totally fine. That's different. If you already had your own piano students, you can keep them. That's fine. And you're welcome to use the Volz method as you learn it to teach your students the Volz method. But they won't be inside of our company, if that makes sense. They won't be billed through us and stuff like that. But if you already had your own students, you can't get more students of your own. Okay, so I would require you to only get new students through us, if that makes sense. And the reason for that is because, and that brings me to my next point, and that is that availability is very important. So we need people with as much availability as possible, Monday through Friday, 2 to 8 p.m. That doesn't mean you'll be teaching that whole time, okay? It means the more availability you can offer at those time slots, the better, okay? You need at least 4 out of the 5 weekdays available with a significant amount of time as possible between the hours of 2 to 8 p.m. to really be considered. That's really important to this position. The more availability you have, the better, and it's important that this availability is consistent year-round, okay? With that said, this position is great for college students who have changing schedules each semester, but have, having as much classes in the morning as possible is really good, because then you can teach in the afternoons. That works really well with college students. There is a good amount of flexibility in this position, since if one of your classes ends up where one of your current students are, you can just move that student. So that's really nice, right? This is a really flexible position that way. This position does not work well if you will be gone for more than 2 weeks at a time, at any point during the year. With that said, you could easily take a 2-week vacation a couple times a year whenever you want. Best times are during the summer and last 2 weeks of the year. That's when, students oftentimes are not taking as many lessons. But extended trips, such as internships, etc., if you're going out of the country for a few weeks, more than 2 weeks, that's not really going to work for this position. Okay, so usually you must be willing to teach at least 20 students to be considered. With a half-hour lesson, that's about 10 hours of teaching a week. But you are traveling, so it might end up being 12 to 13 hours of work total, for instance. So you just have to keep that in mind. If we have a phone conversation and you are found desirable to interview in person, usually Zoom, then we will set up a time and place to meet so that you can play 2 to 3 pieces to show off your talent, okay? The key here is to show off. I'd like to see what you can do, anything you offer. I'd actually rather you play something that you will make a lot of mistakes at, but that will show off the fact that you have the ability to express and technically navigate if, say, you were given enough time to practice it, right? All teachers are not required to be at the virtuosity they were once at. They just need to have trodden the path at one point in order to teach others how to do it. So please play something that is hard for you to play, and I will expect mistakes. You just have to remember, you are interviewing for a teaching position, not a performing position, okay? So that's very important that you make that distinction. Things that we take care of, we take care of billing, obviously. We find the students for you, we train you, and also we give you stickers and candy to give to the students. So I also pay you to host and to conduct your recitals, okay? And we usually have 2 recitals each year is what we usually aim for, 6 months apart. So that's that. That was quite a lot to take in. There's a lot, this job is very unique. So I look forward to speaking with you as a candidate. I really I believe in what we're doing here. The Volz method has changed lives so much for the better. So thank you for watching this, and good luck to you.